So we got a lot of stuff come up a couple days ago. So it's now the 19th. So some things happened a couple days ago that I'm going to address. Um, so we know the circumstances behind what happened on June 5th, with my dad threatening not to go to my graduation and because I wouldn't stay and watch his kids, right? For no pay. And talked about that. Went into detail about everything that happened. And I went into a lot of details. And he did go to my graduation, to his credit. But because of this incident and the way he's treated me for the past 17 years, I decided to go no contact. And that's been no contact for 1 month and 11 days. So I think that's pretty good. But yeah, this babysitting incident was ridiculous. Everybody I've talked to about this has said that it's just messed up. And I went through every single detail. You know, everything I mentioned in that 20-minute video I made. And then that 6-minute video I made after that. Everything I said in that video, every single detail I went through in describing what happened is what I discussed with people I've discussed this with. And they've all said it's messed up, fucked up. I mean, these were the words. Messed up, fucked up, you know? I think that's, I'm glad people see what I'm saying. So on the 17th, a lot of things happened. 1 month and 12 days since this babysitting incident, if you will. And I'm about to go somewhere with my mom. And phone rings. And guess who it is? My dad. I sort of had this feeling that it was him. You know, I just knew it was him, you know. And what does he do? Pick a fight with my mom. Didn't even ask how she was doing. Just brought up what happened on June 5th. And started yelling at her, doing the classic, doing the typical, put somebody on blast over the phone. That's what he loves to do when my stepmom's around. He does it to me. He treats me like absolute shit in front of, my stepmom. We don't have a good relationship. And that she does not want me to have a relationship with my father. That's very, very clear at this point. And she didn't have a relationship with her own father, so what makes you think that she wants me to have a relationship with my father? Right? What makes you think that? It all seemed like a Hail Mary of some sort on my dad's part. Trying to hoover me back into his mess. And I think he realized that I'm moving on from what happened on June 5th, and moving on from years of emotional, and even physical abuse. You know. So in this phone call, he yelled at her and comes up with this really, really, really messed up lie. He says that he accuses my mom of telling me to charge him for babysitting his kids for 12 hours. Why would my mom tell me? I'm 17 years old. I'm not 10. Mom doesn't need to be telling me these things. What you should be asking yourself is, why didn't you directly talk to me about this in person in the 45 minutes that you were here? And remember, I went over all this in that video. Those two videos, the 20-minute video and the 6-minute video, talked about this incident. But he never made any mention of this to me when he came here in person to talk to me, or to talk to my mom. And remember, he talked to her in another language. Okay? And never mentioned any of this babysitting thing with me. Not once. Made plans behind my back. Made plans with my mom. When he should have been talking to me. So, remember that. So, like I said, he formulates this huge lie that my mom told me to charge him. I mean, how absurd is that? It took him 1 month and 12 days to formulate that kind of lie. And first of all, if he was telling the truth, it wouldn't have taken him as long as he did to come up with something that extreme and that false. Second of all, whether or not he was going to be paying me or paying somebody else, or whether or not I was going to babysit his kids or somebody else is going to be babysitting his kids, he was going to have to pay. He's going to pay somebody, whether it was me or somebody else. So what's the difference? Because I'm the one doing it, I shouldn't be paid? Is that what you're saying? It's a job. You know how many of my friends babysit for money? What's abnormal about that? Okay, then. So he calls her mom names and says that she has no dignity. Insult after insult. Speaking about dignity, if anybody had no dignity, it would be my dad. Let me make that clear right now. Let me reiterate. If anybody had no dignity, it would be my dad. I was in my room, and I could hear him. I could hear his voice on the other side of the phone. You know, my mom's over here, being yelled at and just verbally attacked. And, you know, it got so bad that I literally just walked into the room. I couldn't take it anymore. I wasn't going to let him talk to my mom like that any further. I went into the room, disconnected the phone. The phone on him. But he was not done yet. He went after me by text message. He sent me 11 text messages in total. Let me read them. 100% calculated move by a father who has shown you love, even when you humiliate him for no reason? How much has your mother contributed for prom? Orthodontic? Clothing for graduation? Since you were born, I never failed to give your mother money for food. I pay 100% for your health care. I hope at some point you realize that your father is not an idiot or calculated guy. It is regrettable to hear everything you are saying about me. You are part of the family. I can make a 1 hour video on how much of a lie what I just read is. I am not a part of that family at my dad's house. Hell no. It's a big lie. I can go through incidents that have happened. I mean, do you know how badly this guy has treated me in front of my stepmom? For the sake of just impressing her. Because stepmom didn't like me. We didn't have a good relationship. That's what she wanted. She did not have that relationship with her father. It was cut short. Father died tragically when she was 8. So what makes you think that she wants a relationship? She wants me to have a relationship with my dad. She does not want to witness that. What makes you think that? My dad knows she does not like me. We don't have a good relationship. And he realizes by treating me like absolute shit in front of her that will improve his relationship with her. And possibly reduce the likelihood of her leaving him. That's what I think. The number of lies in these text messages is unreal. Okay. And I talked to somebody that's very experienced in dealing with narcissistic fathers and narcissistic men. Toxic, very toxic. And this person told me that this is a classic narcissist rant. Classic narcissist text message. Classic. He says, if you think that you should be paid to stay with your sisters, it's a shame. I said that I will give you something, but that doesn't mean I was paying you for helping me. Narcissists love confusion. They love to just contradict themselves and cause confusion so that they can lash out at you. So that it gives them an excuse to emotionally abuse you and gaslight you and make you feel like you're stupid or crazy. This is what they do. And I mean, the text messages here are just awful. I'm not even done. I'm like barely halfway done. He says, I have expectations. I called to ask you to tell me what you need for college. I'm telling you right now, that phone call did not happen. That phone call did not happen. That did not happen. That did not happen. I think in these text messages, he's trying to build himself to be a good guy who can do no wrong. It's failing miserably because most of this stuff that I've written down, most of the text messages I've gotten from that I've written down here, is a lie. For the most part, it's a lie. It is your choice. If you think that you don't need a father, fine. I hope that time will tell. It takes two to make a child. ... Later that night, he sends 2 more texts. Completely, unrelated text messages. And he says, appreciate and respect police on and off campus. Do not let your emotions control you. Be aware of who you are and know that every reaction will put you in harm's way. Despite all, I love you and want you to do well in college. Okay. There's some truth. Yeah, you have to respect police. But what does this have to do with any of this? Have you asked yourself, what does the police have anything to do with any of this? We're talking about text messages here. And you're bringing at the police? Come on. There's some truth to this. Yeah, every reaction will put you in harm's way. When dealing with a narcissist like you, yeah, you're right about that. Despite all, I love you. Really? If you loved me, you wouldn't be talking to my mom like that. If you loved me, you wouldn't be treating me like absolute shit in front of my stepmom to make an impression. Right? That stuff wouldn't be happening. If you loved me, you wouldn't be reminding me every day of all the things you bought for me right after treating me like shit. If you loved me, you wouldn't be acting like this. If you loved me, a lot of things wouldn't have happened. So don't give me that crap. And trust me, guys, I have not replied to any of these text messages. I have gone no contact for 1 month and 11 days. I want you to do well in college. Wow. Really? I want you to do well in college. If you wanted me to do well, you wouldn't be putting me down or going after my mom. I have taken some measures to ensure that he will not get to me or my mom. And hopefully those measures will be effective. And I definitely plan on going no contact from here on out, the rest of his life.